Turn off the TV ads showing South Beach. Close the Zillow tab with the $1.2 million Tampa bungalow. And for the love of your retirement fund, stop looking at anything within 20 miles of Miami. Here's what the real estate agents won't tell you. Florida is facing an insurance apocalypse. Homeowners on the coast are watching their premiums triple overnight. Citizens Insurance, the state's insurer of last resort, is hemorrhaging money. And those gorgeous waterfront properties, many are becoming functionally uninsurable. But here's the thing. While everyone panics about coastal Florida, there's another Florida that nobody talks about. The inland Florida, the forgotten coast Florida. The Florida where homes still cost what they did in 2019, where flood insurance is optional. Today, we're going deep into the last affordable zip codes in the Sunshine State. 10 towns ranked from nice but remote to the ultimate retirement value. Our criteria: median home price under $350,000, lower flood risk, which means lower insurance, and safe enough that your biggest concern is whether the early bird special starts at 4 or for 30. These are the anti-tourist traps. Let's break them down. Number 10, PALATKA. Let's start with a town that most Floridians drive past on their way to somewhere else. PALATKA sits right on the St. Johns River, about an hour south of Jacksonville and an hour north of Daytona. It's the town you see from I-95 and think, wonder what's there? The answer, surprisingly, a lot. PALATKA is ignored because it's not on the beach, not near Disney, and has spent the last 40 years being known as that town with the paper mill smell. Fair. But here's what's changed. The mill's environmental controls improved dramatically. Young artists and remote workers discovered the historic downtown, and suddenly, those gorgeous Victorian homes along the river started getting bought up. It's gentrifying slowly, but the prices haven't caught up yet. This is your window. Median home price in PALATKA sits around $120,000. You can still find historic fixer-uppers for under $180,000 if you're willing to swing a hammer. Rent averages about $1,100 per month for a 2-bedroom, which is almost criminal compared to Jacksonville's $1,600 plus. We're talking about a riverfront town where your mortgage payment might be $1,400 including taxes and insurance. Here's where it gets interesting. Yes, PALATKA is on a river, so flood zones exist near the water. But move a few blocks inland, and you're in Zone X minimal flood risk. Homeowners insurance runs about $2,100 per year for a standard policy, compared to $6,000 plus in coastal zones. If you pick a home on higher ground, you might skip flood insurance entirely. That's potentially $3,000 a year you're not lighting on fire. PALATKA is for the person who wants old Florida without the tourist markup. The Ravine Garden State Park has some of the best hiking in North Florida. The St. Johns River offers world-class bass fishing. Seriously, it's famous for it. Downtown is a handful of legitimately good restaurants, antique shops, and a growing arts scene. Weekends mean kayaking, fishing, or sitting on your porch watching the river roll by. If you need city amenities, Jacksonville is 55 minutes north. Let's be real, PALATKA is rough around the edges. Some neighborhoods haven't gentrified, they've just stayed neglected. The poverty rate is higher than state average. Healthcare options are limited. You'll drive to Jacksonville or Gainesville for anything serious. And the summer humidity, oppressive. You'll earn every cent you save. But if you can handle grit with your charm, PALATKA offers something rare, a Florida river town you can actually afford. Number 9, SEBRING. Right in the dead center of Florida, about an hour south of Orlando and an hour north of absolutely nothing, sits SEBRING. You might know it from the famous 12 Hours of SEBRING race. What you don't know is that retirees have been quietly stacking up here for decades, living on budgets that would make coastal Floridians weep. SEBRING gets ignored because it's not near anything glamorous. No beaches, no theme parks, no influencers posing in front of Art Deco hotels. It's just there, surrounded by orange groves, cattle ranches, and lakes. Lots of lakes. The town itself is centered around Lake Jackson, with a cute circular downtown that feels frozen in 1962. And that's exactly why it works. Nobody's trying to flip houses here. Nobody's building luxury condos. It's just regular people living regular lives at regular prices. This is where SEBRING shines. SEBRING sits at 135 feet above sea level. For Florida, That's basically the Alps. Flood insurance. Laughable. Most properties here are Zone X, meaning flood coverage is optional and cheap if you want it anyway. Homeowners insurance averages around $1,800 per year, well below the state average of $4,100 plus. This is an insurance-safe zone, pure and simple. SEBRING is slow, really slow, and that's the point. You've got 100 plus lakes within a 30-minute drive for fishing and kayaking. Golf courses are plentiful and cheap. We're talking $30 rounds, not $150. The Highlands Hammock State Park is one of Florida's oldest and prettiest. Downtown is a farmer's market, local diners, and enough antique stores to furnish 3 houses. For excitement, you drive an hour to Orlando. For peace, you stay home. The cynical catch, SEBRING is quiet to the point of isolation. The nearest major hospital is in better shape than it used to be, but for specialized care. You're driving to Orlando or Tampa. The economy is limited. This is not a place to find a job. It's a place to retire from having one. Summers are brutally hot with no ocean breeze to save you. And if you're under 55, you might feel like you've accidentally wandered into a retirement simulation. But for the right person, this is retire on Social Security territory. Number 8. DEFUNIAK Springs. In the Florida Panhandle, far from the spring break chaos of Panama City, sits a town so architecturally strange that most people assume it's in Georgia. DEFUNIAK Springs is built around one of the world's only perfectly round natural lakes, and the Victorian homes circling it look like they were airlifted from New England circa 1890. This is not what you picture when someone says Florida. DEFUNIAK Springs is ignored because it's an hour from any beach and located in Walton County, which everyone associates with the ultra-expensive 308 Corridor Seaside, Rosemary Beach, those $3 million vacation homes. But drive 30 minutes north, away from the coast, and the prices collapse. DEFUNIAK is what happens when tourists don't know you exist. The town has preserved its historic character almost accidentally, simply because nobody came to tear it down. Median home price runs about $260,000. But the real gems are the historic Victorians around the lake. DEFUNIAK Springs sits at 260 feet above sea level. That's not a typo. This is one of the highest elevations in Florida. Flood insurance, not a concern. Hurricane risk, significantly lower than coastal areas. You're far enough inland that storms lose power before. Rival, homeowners insurance averages around $1,600 to $2,000 per year. This is as close to an insurance-proof Florida town as you'll find. The perfectly round Lake DEFUNIAK is the centerpiece walking path, historic homes, and the oldest library in Florida is still operating in its original building. Fishing, kayaking, and lazy afternoons dominate. The town hosts the state's oldest community theater. If you want beach days, Destin is 45 minutes south, but you won't pay Destin prices to live here. Its southern charm with Florida weather, minus the crowds. Let's be clear, DEFUNIAK Springs is in the deep south culturally and politically. If you want diversity or progressive vibes, this isn't your spot. The economy is limited. Eglin Air Force Base provides some jobs, but most residents are retired or commuting. The nearest major hospital is in Fort Walton Beach, 30 minutes away, and while the Victorian homes are beautiful, some haven't been updated since the Taft administration. Bring a contractor's number. Number 7. DUNNELLON, about 90 minutes north of Tampa. Where the Withlacoochee and Rainbow Rivers meet, sits DUNNELLON. This is the nature coast, no high-rises, no chain restaurants lining the waterfront, no one trying to sell you a timeshare. Just crystal clear springs, manatees, and some of the most affordable waterfront adjacent living in Florida. DUNNELLON is ignored because it's not on the Gulf. It's about 25 miles inland. The springs bring tourists, but they leave by sundown. Nobody's building resorts here. The town itself is tiny, a bit worn around the edges, and utterly devoid of pretension. It is the kind of place where you nod at strangers and they nod back because that's just what you do. Median home price is approximately $175,000, though you'll find plenty under $150,000 if you're not picky about granite countertops. Rent averages around $1,300 per month. River access properties obviously cost more, but even those are a fraction of coastal equivalents. We're talking about living near world-famous Rainbow Springs. For the price of a garage in Orlando, DUNNELLON sits on higher ground. and most properties fall outside high-risk flood zones. Homeowners insurance averages about $2,000 per year, well below the coastal nightmare numbers. If you buy near the rivers, you might need flood coverage. This is for the person who wants to kayak on Tuesday, fish on Wednesday, and watch manatees on Thursday. Rainbow Springs State Park is right there, one of Florida's first magnitude springs. With water so clear it looks fake. The rivers offer some of the best freshwater paddling in the state. Downtown DUNNELLON is modest but has everything you need: groceries, hardware. A few restaurants that haven't been purchased by private equity yet. OCALA is 20 minutes east for bigger stores and medical care. DUNNELLON is small, and small can mean limited. Dining options are diner level, not food level. Nightlife is non-existent unless you count frogs. The hospital situation requires a drive to OCALA. Summers are swampy, the humidity hangs on you like a wet blanket, and bugs. Welcome to Florida's interior. Stock up on OFF. Deep woods. But if nature is your entertainment and quiet is your goal, DUNNELLON delivers value that's hard to match. Number 6. Lake Placid. No, not the one in New York with the Olympic bobsled track. This Lake Placid is in Highlands County, Florida, surrounded by 27 freshwater lakes and roughly 0 people who've heard of it. It calls itself the caladium capital of the world because it grows most of America's caladium bulbs. If you don't know what caladiums are, you're not alone. They're decorative plants. The town is serious about them. Lake Placid is hidden because there's no reason for tourists to find it. It's 90 minutes from Orlando, an hour from any beach, and the main attraction is lakes and decorative foliage. That's it. But here's what happens when nobody's looking. Housing stays cheap, development stays minimal, and retirees who actually did their research quietly settle in and never leave. Median home price sits around $180,000, with lake access properties available for under $350. Try finding lakefront for that anywhere near Tampa. Rent averages $1,150 per month. Property taxes in Highlands County are among the lowest in Florida. I've seen retirees here report all-in monthly costs under $2,500, including a lakefront lifestyle. Lake Placid is high and dry by Florida standards. Elevation runs 100 to 150 feet above sea level. Flood zones are minimal. Most properties sit comfortably in Zone X. Homeowners insurance averages around $1,700 per year, and flood insurance is often unnecessary. For lake lovers terrified of coastal insurance costs, this is the answer. You pick your lake. Seriously. With 27 of them within town limits, you've got options. Fishing, boating, kayaking, or just sitting on your dock watching the sunset, it's all here. The town's murals, there are 47 of them, give downtown an artsy feel. That surprises first-time visitors. The annual Caladium Festival is a bigger deal than you'd expect. Golf courses are cheap and plentiful for anything major. SEBRING is 15 minutes north. Lake Placid is extremely quiet. Extremely. If you need restaurants, nightlife, or cultural events, you'll feel stranded. The median age here is seasoned. You won't find many people under 50 unless they're visiting grandparents. Healthcare requires a drive. SEBRING is the closest hospital. And the summer heat is relentless with no ocean breeze to temper it. But for serious retirees who want nature, low cost, and zero chaos, Lake Placid is an overlooked gem. Number 5. Brooksville. Yes, Florida has hills. Not many, but Brooksville has them. Located about an hour north of Tampa, this is where the flat peninsula suddenly gets topography, creating a landscape of rolling canopy roads, moss-draped oaks, and elevations that eliminate the words flood zone from your vocabulary entirely. Brooksville gets overlooked because it's just far enough from Tampa to be inconvenient for commuters, and just lacking enough beach access to be ignored by tourists. What remains is a town with genuine old Florida character, a historic downtown, centuries-old oaks, and neighborhoods where your biggest traffic concern is a tractor. The Weeki Wachee Springs attraction is nearby, but most visitors never venture into Brooksville itself. Median home price hovers around $300,000, but the range is wide. Older homes on larger lots can be found for $150,000 or less. Newer construction in planned communities runs higher. Rent averages approximately $1,400 per month. For a town with hill country charm and reasonable Tampa access, this pricing is remarkably stable. Here is the headline: Brooksville's higher elevation. means large portions of the town require zero flood insurance. We're talking 100 feet above sea level in some areas. Homeowners insurance averages $2,000 to $2,400 per year, significantly below coastal Hernando County properties near the Gulf. When your neighbors in Spring Hill are battling flood zone designations and $5,000 premiums, you're sitting pretty on your hill. Brooksville's canopy roads are genuinely beautiful. Think Savannah vibes without Savannah tourists. The historic downtown offers antique shops, local restaurants, and Friday night events that feel like stepping back 40 years. The Withlacoochee State Trail provides 46 miles of paved biking and walking. Weeki Wachee Springs is 15 minutes west for mermaid shows, yes, really, and crystal clear kayaking. Tampa is in our south when you need city things. Brooksville is not Tampa. The hospital options are limited. Bayfront Health is the main facility, but complex care means a Tampa drive. The town has experienced growth pressure from Tampa Bay refugees, so don't wait forever. Prices are creeping up. Some neighborhoods are nicer than others. Do your due diligence. And summers still bring Florida heat, even on the hills. But for retirees wanting proximity to Tampa without Tampa costs, Brooksville offers a compelling balance. Number 4. Marianna. Now we're going deep into the Panhandle. Marianna sits about an hour west of Tallahassee, in an area most Floridians forget exists. This is not coastal Florida, not theme park Florida, not anything you'd see in a tourism ad. This is southern Florida in the cultural sense, more Alabama than Miami. And the prices reflect a reality completely disconnected from the rest of the state. Marianna is hidden because there's no obvious reason to visit. It's inland, rural, and its biggest attraction is a cave system. Florida Caverns State Park offers the only dry caves in Florida, which is genuinely cool, but it doesn't draw millions of tourists. What Marianna has instead is extreme affordability, low property taxes, and a pace of life that makes SEBRING look like Manhattan. Median home price is under $100,000. Let that sink in. Under $100,000. In Florida. In 2026, you can find 3-bedroom homes on half-acre lots for $150,000 without trying hard. Rent averages around $900 per month. Property taxes in Jackson County are among the lowest in the state. Retirees here report living comfortably on $2,000 per month total. This is genuine retire on Social Security alone territory. Marianna is far from any coast and sits at approximately 100 feet elevation. Flood zones are virtually non-existent outside the immediate Chipola River corridor. Homeowners insurance averages $1,400 to $1,800 per year, numbers that would make a Tampa homeowner cry. Hurricane risk, while still present, is dramatically lower this far inland. Your house insurance is probably cheaper than your car insurance here. The Florida Caverns are genuinely impressive. Guided tours take you through formations that rival anything in Tennessee or Kentucky. The Chipola River offers excellent kayaking and tubing. Hunting and fishing are major activities. This is rural North Florida, and people live off the land. Downtown Marianna has maintained its historic character with brick streets and southern architecture. Panama City Beach is 90 minutes south for occasional beach days. Marianna is isolated, economically limited, and culturally conservative. This is not a progressive enclave. Adjust expectations accordingly. Healthcare is a genuine concern. The nearest major hospital is in Panama City or Tallahassee, both 60 minutes away. The economy offers few opportunities. You're retiring here, not starting a career. Summers are hot, bugs are abundant, and entertainment options are limited. But if ultra-low cost of living is your priority and you're comfortable with rural southern culture, Marianna delivers savings that are almost unbelievable for Florida. Number 3. OCALA Silver Springs Shores. OCALA proper has been discovered. Prices reflect it, but the outskirts, particularly the Silver Springs Shores area east of town, still flying under the radar. This is horse country literally. Marion County has more horses per capita than Kentucky, but you do need to own a thoroughbred to benefit from the infrastructure built around this equestrian economy. Everyone knows OCALA. Not everyone knows Silver Springs Shores. This unincorporated community east of the city offers the same climate, the same access to amenities, and dramatically lower prices. It's not a fancy address. It's a practical one. The kind of place where people who work in OCALA actually live because they can afford to. In Silver Springs Shores specifically, median home price runs around $160,000, about $50,000 less than Ocala proper. Marion County is inland, elevated, and largely outside flood zones. Homeowners insurance averages $2,000 to $2,500 per year. No flood insurance required for the vast majority of properties. You're far enough from both coasts that hurricane insurance costs remain reasonable. The insurance math here just works. The Ocala area offers more retirement community amenities than almost anywhere in Florida outside the villages and for far less money. Golf courses, clubhouses, social clubs, and organized activities are abundant. The Ocala National Forest is right there for hiking and kayaking. Silver Springs State Park offers glass-bottom boat tours on crystal clear springs. Downtown Ocala has legitimately good restaurants and shopping. Gainesville is 45 minutes north. Orlando is 90 minutes south. Silver Springs Shores isn't charming, it's functional. This is suburban sprawl without the walkability or character of downtown Ocala. You'll drive everywhere. Some HOAs are stricter than others. Read the documents. The area has grown fast, and traffic has grown with it. Summers are standard Florida miserable, but for retirees wanting community, amenities, and inland safety at a price that won't destroy their savings, the Ocala orbit, especially Silver Springs Shores, deserves serious consideration. Number 2. Punta Gorda Inland. East Punta Gorda's waterfront is gorgeous and priced accordingly. But here's the secret. Move a few miles east, away from the harbor, and the same weather, the same laid-back vibe, and the same access to Charlotte County's amenities cost $150,000 less. The beach is still 30 minutes away. Your bank account is 30% healthier. Everyone focuses on Punta Gorda's historic downtown and waterfront, rightfully so. It's beautiful. But the eastern and inland portions of the city, plus unincorporated Charlotte County, offer the same Southwest Florida lifestyle without the waterfront premium. These neighborhoods aren't on Instagram. They're just where normal people actually live. Waterfront Punta Gorda runs $500,000 plus. Eastern inland Punta Gorda and surrounding Charlotte County, median price is around $320,000, with plenty of options in the $280,000 to $350,000 range. Rent averages $1,500 per month. You're still in one of Florida's most desirable retirement regions, just without paying the water view tax. This is where it gets strategic. Coastal Punta Gorda properties face serious flood zone designations and insurance cost of $5,000 plus annually. Move east, gain elevation, and exit the flood zone's insurance drops to $2,500 to $3,000 per year. Still not Marianna cheap, but dramatically better than the coast. The compromise is real savings. Charlotte County offers excellent healthcare. Bayfront Health Punta Gorda serves retirees well. The harbor and downtown are a short drive for waterfront dining without waterfront ownership costs. Beaches in Englewood and Boca Grande are 30 to 45 minutes away. Boating and fishing remain accessible via public launches. The area has a strong retired community with organized activities, clubs, and social infrastructure. Fort Myers is 30 minutes south for additional shopping and medical specialists. You're making a trade-off. Inland Punta Gorda lacks the walkable charm of downtown. You'll need a car for everything. The eastern areas can feel more suburban and less Florida postcard. Hurricane Ian in 2022 reminded everyone that Charlotte County isn't immune to storm damage and land helps, but it's not a guarantee. And prices here are rising faster than some other towns on this list. The secret is getting out. But for retirees wanting Southwest Florida quality of life at a meaningful discount, the east of downtown strategy is worth serious exploration. Number 1. HOMOSASSA. And here it is, the best kept secret on Florida's nature coast. HOMOSASSA feels like someone froze a Florida fishing village in 1985 and forgot to thaw it. There's no pretension. Here, no luxury developments, no influencer content, just old school Florida. Fishing, beer, manatees, and housing prices that haven't gotten the memo about the rest of the state. HOMOSASSA is hidden because it has actively resisted development. No major hotel chains. No chain restaurants taking over the waterfront. The roads are narrow. The signs are hand-painted. And the main attractions are a manatee rescue center, a spring where you can swim with the gentle giants. People who live here aren't looking for excitement. They're looking for authentic old Florida. And they found it. Median home price sits around $150,000, with plenty of options between $180,000 to $180,000. Waterfront and canal access homes, the kind that would cost $800,000 in Tampa Bay, go for $350. 0 to $450,000 here. Rent averages $1,000 to $100 per month. We've seen retirees in HOMOSASSA report total monthly budgets of $2,800 to $3,100, including housing, healthcare, food, and entertainment. This is live like royalty on a fixed income territory. HOMOSASSA's insurance picture is nuanced. Some areas near the HOMOSASSA River and springs require flood coverage. Expect $1,200 to $2,000 annually if you're in a flood zone, but move slightly inland to areas like HOMOSASSA Springs or the eastern edges, and you're in Zone X with no flood insurance required. Homeowners insurance runs to $1,000 to $2,500 per year. The trick is location scouting within the community. This is fishing and beer Florida, and it's not apologizing. The HOMOSASSA Springs Wildlife State Park lets you see manatees year-round and winter. Hundreds gather in the warm spring water swimming. With them is a bucket list experience available to locals daily. The HOMOSASSA River offers some of the best scalloping in Florida. Local restaurants serve grouper caught that morning. There are no malls, no big box stores. You drive 20 minutes to Inverness or Crystal River for that. Days here are simple: fish, kayak, watch manatees, grill whatever you caught. Repeat, HOMOSASSA is not for everyone. It's deeply quiet. There's no nightlife, limited dining options, and a pace of life that could drive type of personalities insane. Healthcare is limited locally. Citrus Memorial Hospital in Inverness is 20 minutes away, and Tampa is 75 minutes for specialists. The infrastructure is aging roads, flood, and heavy rains. Internet can be spotty in some areas, and bugs. You're living next to a spring-fed river in humid Florida. Stock up on repellent. But for the retiree who wants authentic old Florida, genuine community, and a budget that actually works, HOMOSASSA is as good as it gets. So there it is. 10 Florida towns where the retirement dream isn't dead, it just moved inland. The formula is simple. Sacrifice the beach view to save your wallet. Except that a 45-minute drive to the Gulf is the price of keeping your insurance under $500 a year. Understand that charming downtown might mean 3 antique stores and a diner that closes at 6 p.m. What you get in return is something increasingly rare: a Florida retirement. That doesn't require a second mortgage, a 6-figure annual budget, or constant anxiety about the next hurricane season. From PALATKA's river revival to HOMOSASSA's manatee-filled waterways, these towns share common DNA. They're inland or forgotten coast. They're ignored by tourists. They're populated by retirees who did the math and chose financial peace over coastal prestige. The insurance crisis isn't going away. Coastal Florida will only get more expensive and more risky, but these 10 towns, they offer humidity and sunshine without the bankruptcy. The Florida dream isn't dead. It's just hiding where nobody thought to look. If you made it this far, drop a comment with which town surprised you the most. And if you're already living in one of these places, tell us what the videos always get wrong. I'll see you in the next one.